All right, as you guys saw, the transmission is now in the car. I obviously still have some stuff to do to wrap that up, and I will get some good shots of the transmission from underneath when I get down there. I think I'm doing the drive shaft next. So whenever I get down there to do the drive shaft, I'll get some good shots of that. However, here's the interior. So you can see that. I mean, obviously I haven't put the interior back together yet, but we have a shifter in the interior. So that'll be a quick tie-up situation. I'll try to film it. It'll be, just a few minutes. I went ahead and made a quick list of some stuff that I need to do to make sure that I hit everything. I just don't want to, some of that stuff's like really minor, but stuff that I don't want to like forget to do. Obviously, I know I need to do drive shaft, like it's obvious, but stuff that I don't want to forget about, like tightening my motor mounts, just small stuff that it needs to be done, and I don't want to forget the small things in the big picture of the car is almost done. I need to drive shaft and it's good to go. Like there's still a few things to do. Here's the drive shaft though. We'll be installing this. That side obviously goes into the trans, and then the other side bolts up to our factory rear diff, and it's a one-piece aluminum. I figured I'd show you guys because I haven't actually unpackaged that until I got the transmission in. I hadn't pulled that out of the packaging yet. So yeah, we'll jump into the car and get going. All right, so I'm about to bring the drive shaft in here. It's actually right here. Let me see if I can get, you may not be able to see it very well. That end goes into our factory rear end with this, and then the front has splines that go, a shaft with splines that slide right into this part of our transmission, the rear section. So there we go. We will get the ball rolling here. Oh, one more thing. I forgot to mention, it came with all the hardware, which you'll probably have a hard time seeing, but it came with all the hardware to get this attached. And as I showed you earlier, the plate to get it to the back, the rear end. So all right, there we go. It's only barely in here with like hand tight, but I want to show you guys the one piece in a, there we go. Again, I have to put these bolts in all the way and add the other bolts, but not too shabby. Looking good. All right, so I ran to the hardware store and picked up some fluid for the transmission. Again, this is just going to be some break-in fluid because we'll have to change it out in 200 miles. This is 8090. The manufacturers of the transmission, Tremec, recommend their fluid, which is a 85, I believe. This is close enough from what Grannis is saying. This is fine. It's temporary. You're only running it for 200 miles and it's close in weight. So we'll do this, and then I figured while we're down there, we'll change the diff fluid. So I got some diff fluid from like manufacturer spec weight for that. So we'll get in there and start that. Also, if you're doing this, you're gonna want a pump to transfer your fluid. Usually a fluid transfer pump or whatever you're gonna call it. Skip the like hand squeeze pump and just get like a actual like pneumatic pump, or even better if you have like the electric pumps to pump your fluid for you. I don't have that. I just have a hand pump, but not like the squeeze ones. It's like an air pump essentially. So we'll do the get the fluid in the trans. I'm gonna throw some PB blasts on the diff bolts. I've already done it, but it's been a while and I don't know how long, you know, PB blaster will sit and actually penetrate and be good for. So won't hurt. Spray a little extra on there before we start the trans, and then after we do the trans, we'll drain the fluid and get the diff fluid in. And I know most people usually are like, oh yeah, you know, drive the car for 10 minutes. It'll heat the fluid up and make it quicker to drain and all that stuff. Unfortunately, not an option right now. But I figure it's worth doing. I might as well. I'm right there. The car's already in the air. Just do it. So yeah, we'll spray those with PB Blaster and then start on the trans, and then we'll move back to the diff. All right, so I have my fluid here. This is a fairly simple setup. This thing's like $6 at Harbor Freight. There's a more expensive version that does the same thing at Home Depot. But essentially, if you look at it, there's a in and out labeled on here. So you put your in hose in your fluid and your out hose into your fill hole, which on this transmission is right here. And manual transmissions, you just fill it until it starts leaking out of the fill hole, and then you throw your plug back in it and call it a day. So should be fairly straightforward. Open this up and start at it. I should have opened this before I got under here. And we'll stay at this until we're done. All right, so as I said earlier, I was gonna do the rear diff fluid because I feel like it wouldn't hurt. I don't know the last time it was changed or anything, but as you can see in this picture, the diff fluid looked pretty clean when it was coming out. I didn't film it. The plugs, the drain plug and the fill plug felt like they were torqued down by the Incredible Hulk. So it took some effort to get those out, but fluid came out and it looks fine. Nothing looks out of place as far as the gear oil looks. Again, I don't know the last time it was changed, but it looked clean coming out, so sounds good to me, you know. So I will do the same process I used for filling the transmission. throw the pump into the new jug and fill it the same way. Again, you fill it until it starts to come out of the fill hole, and yeah, then we'll move on. So we're getting there. All right, now that I have changed my diff fluid, added my trans fluid, other stuff, we have a few things we can cross off of our list and see what we have left. So, drive shaft, done. Bleed clutch, no. Clutch pedal, I kind of looked into that, but I'm not done with it, so I won't do that. Trans wiring, no. Trans fluid, coolant, not yet. Diff fluid, interior, motor mounts, intake, and rad mounts. So, not much left. Clutch we'll do soon, hopefully. And I'll adjust the pedal when I bleed the clutch. Bleed the clutch, adjust the pedal. We got some dirt all over me, actually, apparently. So anyways, when I bleed the clutch, I'll adjust the pedal. Trans wiring, I'll probably start that soon. It's pretty straightforward. I'll get the stuff plugged in, and then I will actually wire everything probably a little bit later. Coolant, quick and easy. I'll probably do that when I'm putting the engine bay back together. And I'll do the radiator mounts and stuff too. I just wrote all that stuff individually so I didn't forget them. Probably in order. Bleed the clutch, adjust the clutch pedal, trans wiring, put the engine bay together, and then put the interior together. I'm getting pretty excited with how small that list is at this point. Yeah. Again, I didn't really need to do diff fluid, but you might as well when you're in there. And it's one of those situations, like, I don't know when it was done last. So it's good peace of mind to get it done. It's not gonna hurt anything to have good fresh fluid in there. And yeah, now our trans has fluid. We'll do our transmission break-in miles, which is 200 miles, I believe. I will double check. I'm pretty sure it's 200 miles. And then we'll drain it and put fresh trans oil in there too after that. So we're getting there. Thanks again for watching. I know this series is not the same way that I typically do my videos. The way I usually do is I shoot my video in full, do my outro, call it a day, start the next one. But this one's been a multi-day, multi-week process, and so I haven't been saying outros and all that stuff. So thank you for watching, and I appreciate you. I hope that you're enjoying this process. It's been pretty straightforward. There's always hang-ups when you do stuff like this, but it's been pretty straightforward for the most part, and I can't recommend the Granis kit enough to you guys. It's been, I mean, you've seen a lot of the stuff just lines up and it works. There are a few things that, again, just, you know, minor things that come up, like the dowel pins. Not everyone's gonna have dowel pin issues like I did, that ends in having to drill it, tap it, and force it out, but, you know, some people will just be able to pull on it with vice grips and it'll be out, and other people will do what I do or worse. So anyways, long-winded way of saying thank you guys for watching. It's a good kit. I recommend it. I hope you're enjoying it. We're almost to the finish line, and then I will be taking you guys on a drive and talking about the kit and experience it for the first time with you guys. So we're almost there, and I hope to see you guys on the next one. Bye.